ask you like a few questions about what you do to the society. So the first one, I'm a young person and I would like to know what are the best chances for young people to get a job in Europe.
That's quite difficult. You make a very direct question.
Yeah.
The best chances for young people in Europe. I think we've got to clear some ideas about that. When we talk about work, we talk about labor market. Labor market is a market of labor. And the first wrong idea about that is that, I must tell you, there is no one labor market in Europe. Of course, there is a big open space for work in Europe, but inside Europe there are many labor markets, because there are labor markets for young people, for older people, for nurses, for doctors, for engineers, and so on, for no qualified people, etc., etc. So there are many, many labor markets in Europe. So the first answer that I have to give you is this. If you want to work in the European labor market, you must know something about your own labor market. Which is your labor market? What do you do, or what do you plan to do in your life? So you got to know the idea of your labor market. Because if you want to work in agriculture, there is one labor market. If you want to work as a nurse, for instance, that is another labor market. And for that, you got to learn that labor markets or labor markets are not static realities. They change all the time. One reality this year is not the same next year, because things are changing very, very fast. So the main answer for that question is that you cannot rely or depend on the public services to tell you all about your labor market. You are the one who has to study it and to know which reality you want to work in. You see what I mean? Okay?
Okay. Which are like the institutions or sources of information that could help us to be properly informed?
Many, many, many. You see, I could give you this different reality between our days, your days, and when I was your age. When I was your age, before 1974, I wanted to go abroad because I was 19. I was hearing about some realities about freedom and welfare and liberty in Europe, and I wanted to go away. That was not specifically political. I wasn't doing some political action in here, something but not so important. But I wanted to know that reality. So I planned to go. And what was common in those days is that we would go illegally. We were not allowed to go outside of the country because the politicians didn't want us to know which was going on outside. And what was going on outside was something absolutely different, about freedom. I could explain all the aspects of that freedom, between just the relation between man and woman, the working conditions, the political conditions, the reading, the studying, etc., etc. But which were the sources of information we had? Not many at all. Lots and lots of sources of information. Which one? I tell you about the main one. The main one is the EURES network. Which is the EURES network? EURES network is a network that puts in cooperation different public employment service of Europe. The EURES network is coordinated by the European Commission, and their mission, their goal is to facilitate everything that has got to do with flexibility and of the European labor market, make it easy and free for everybody. So that is the main objective of that network. For that purpose, they put working together people of different countries. We belong to the local or national employment service, but we work together with some colleagues of all over Europe. Our job is to give information, our job personally, and the information that is available at the EURES portal, for instance, which is a lot of information. Information about jobs, for instance, at this moment, we have probably 2 million job offers, information about studying, information about cooperation, information about volunteering, yes.
And what do you suggest would be a very useful working or studying experience in order to improve our curriculums?
Well, this is also a very important question for me, because as you can imagine, I work with a lot of young people, sometimes not so young, with a lot of people. But I consider that all of you grow up a lot if you have any sort of contact or relationship with people of other countries, of other cultures. This is very, very important. One person that never comes out from his town or village or his sometimes family, they really don't grow.
So, according to your experience, what are the weakest points of young people at the moment to applying for jobs?
The weakest point, well, this is the lack of what I just mentioned. That's a weak point, and I don't know. I must tell you this. I've been doing some work with young people in the secondary schools, and I realized that many of them, when they are about 11th year or 12th year of the schooling, they go into an existential crisis. They don't know what to do in life. They don't know what course or degree they want to apply for. They are not sure about anything. At the same time, and sometimes at home, they hear about crisis, unemployment, and it is a very big pressure on them. They don't know. And they feel they have to make very big decisions if they don't have the instruments or the knowledge to make that decision. On the other hand, there is another wrong idea about that young people performs, which is they think they do not know. They are not sure about them. They feel weak. And that is what to do with this question. Which are the weakest points? And that idea of insecurity about yourselves, that is a very bad point in life. Because you are not, because when I talk with unemployed people, and there is some wrong ideas about that the Portuguese culture has. You apply for a job, for instance, and the owner of the company says, "Oh well, you are 45. If you were younger, that would be better." Well, okay. But if you go there and you are 22, oh well, 22, well, if you would have some more experience, that would be okay. And sometimes, and you always feel guilty about what you are. That is very, very, very wrong. And what I mean is that must not feel guilty about being young, because being young is good. For instance, I can assure you that being young is good, and if you don't know many things, that's because you are not supposed to know them. But you have the will to know them, and you want to learn, and you want to do. That's very important. If an employer does not realize this, does not know how important this is, he is not a good employer. You keep being a good person, but he is not a good employer. You see? So what they have to do is that take advantage of your lack of knowledge, but of your will to have to learn. To learn, you see what I mean? So, go on.
So, what do you think, which European countries given the best solutions about public services, like compared to jobs?
You mean what are the public services offering?
Yeah, like which countries given like the best?
Oh well, it is quite difficult to compare countries. You see, because I'm not supposed to say many bad things about my own country. But what must I tell you? And that I must. You see, the public employment services, PES, the public employment service of any country, they have their own story. I could tell you something about the story, the past, and the change of our public employment service. I could be in here one day talking about this. As I have been in touch with my colleagues all over Europe, from Finland to Greece, I know something about the public employment service of those countries. They have their own story too, and they perform, they act, they work in many different ways. Some of them, or all of them, in many different ways. But you must consider this. The public employment service are not islands. They are incorporated in the society and in the culture of that country where they belong to. So is ours. So sometimes they are not so good, sometimes they are much better. Of course, as a result, there are much more possibilities to get good things from public employment service nowadays than there was in the past. Nevertheless, you must pay attention to this. You must pay attention to this. The performance of our employment services is sometimes conditioned by for instance, the economic and political situation. And sometimes this changes the performance of the public employment service.
And this is the last question. It might be a little hard to answer. Do you have like an idea or like a opinion about how Europe should face immigration?
How Europe is facing the immigration? Well, it is that all good questions, all very good questions. Because sometimes we talk about immigration, and sometimes, for instance, for me, I talk much more about mobility. It is very, very different. It's very, very interesting to talk about this. I must tell you this. Most of the countries of Europe have a culture about immigration. Portuguese have had many immigrants. We have had immigrants to Brazil, to France and Europe, and we have immigration nowadays. Spain has had immigration, Italy has had immigration, France has had immigration. For instance, you think about the new countries of the world, like Canada, United States, New Zealand, Australia, Angola, etc., are countries made by immigration. People went away for better opportunities in a different circumstances. But in nowadays, we don't, as we consider the globality of the world, we don't talk much more about immigration because people like some of you, which are inside here from other countries, you are not exactly immigrants. You are people who live in a universal world, and you just move around. For instance, we cannot consider that a student of Erasmus is an immigrant. He belongs to, he places himself in a culture, in a wider culture of Earth, and he just moves around. He's not an immigrant.
Thank you very much for answering our questions, and thank you for being here today.